lovers, welcome back to the channel. So for today, we're actually going to be doing a very fun, well for me, a fun Mother's Day gift idea. And it's going to actually include infusible ink. I have not used or worked with infusible ink in a considerable amount of time, but I thought it would be fun to try this idea for this video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on getting this started. So what I have is this non-Cricut brand infusible ink sheets that I got from Amazon. It's called Lucky, I guess it's Godness. Let your imagination be image. Now you don't have to get this. I just had this for a while and I had all my black in here. And this is only because that this is one of the ones that I was able to find a bulk amount of black, just black. If you've used infusible ink before, you'll know that Cricut doesn't have it that I've been aware of where you can find several amount of black. And for this project, I'm going to need 4 sheets of black, and I just wanted just black with nothing else in the background along to go with it, because I just want the message that I'm putting on the blanks on there. So, and I don't remember how much these cost. I don't think that was on here, and I don't think I put it on here when I was doing my craft room. Now, the only things that I know for, let me show you guys, that I know is that I know they have them like this. And so this sheet will be the one solid black, and it only has 2. So basically I would have to buy 2 of these and try to find it on clearance. And then the other option would be maybe if I got this one and then these, but see what I say, that these have other elements in them, and that's what I didn't want as well. They have another sheet, but I didn't want that one either, because again, I would have to be buying 2 boxes of that. Now, I know Hobby Lobby brand, and I believe, no, Michaels has a brand, and I believe Hobby Lobby might have a infusible ink brand that you can use as well. But if you're like me and you just want to find something really quick and get over with, this brand works and is actually a pretty good brand. So with all that being said, this is what it would look like. It comes in this very good packaging that you just store it away just like so, and you're done. Okay. All right. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to leave these out, and we're going to have, I'm going to use my purple sheet, my purple craft mat. And what I'm going to show you is one of the blanks that we're going to do, and it is comfort blankets. That's all I'm going to use. And these are actually polyester base. And just to show you guys, it is, I hope you guys can see that it is 100% polyester. And I got these from Dollar General. It was just actually by happenstance. I was at Dollar General. My mom was getting her eyebrows done. That's just the way it was. And usually I don't find anything ever at Dollar General, and I was just wasting time, and I happened to find these. That's all that was, and I thought it would be a great idea for me to get these for myself and my daughters. Now, I was only able to get 2 of these, and so I wanted ours to have same colors, and I got, this is the only one that's not going to be the exact same as these 2, but the colors are the same. So after all that was said, I had to find something for my son, and you'll see why I did that. So with that, we are going to need 4 of these, and all I'm going to do in the event that you guys may not have ever worked with infusible ink is Cricut's version of sublimation. So if you don't have a sublimation printer, this would be your introduction to sublimation. So it's just a cheaper version of doing sublimation, and it works just as well, and so on and so forth. So 2, 3, 4. Now keep in mind, what you want to make sure that you do is your hands need to be washed thoroughly and clean from any oils, lotions, or anything of that. So my hands are extremely dry, no lotions on them or anything like that. So I have my 4 sheets, because if you have any oils on your hands, you'll rub the infusible ink sheet and you're going to damage the ink on the sheet, because that's what's on these sheets is actually the ink for the infusible, hence the name infusible inks. So you want to keep these in a dry, safe location. So once you got your sheet out and you're done with the pages that you need, I'm just gonna put these back in here and then keep them back in their dry, safe location. Put them back in here and store them back exactly how they came, because that's how you want to keep them in dry, safe location, regular temperature. Okay, so I'm gonna just put that in the back, and then here it is. Now it doesn't look black, it does look very brown right now. Now what will happen is once it is activated with heat, the heat will actually imbue the activate the color, and then it'll look black. That's all it'll do. The heat activates the ink. So I am going to show you how we do it. Now infusible ink, unlike iron-on, this is the liner, you're going to mirror it, but when you mirror, you're going to actually lay this sheet shiny side, your liner face down. So you're going to actually do it this way, because when you go to print, when you go to put everything down, you're going to actually do it this way. This will play out and make sense as we work with this. So I'm just going to take my sheet out. Now my thing might not be as sticky as it probably should be, but that's okay. I think it'll still be fine. And if not, I think my green mat is probably just a little stickier than this one. But what I'm going to do is use the bottom. I've been using mine quite a bit. So I'm going to line this up with the grids. I'm using the bottom today, but it doesn't really matter because it's a 12 by 12. So it's not going to make a difference. So I'm going to lay this down, but I'm not going to use my hands on here because I don't want to rub any of the ink off. So we're going to use our brayer to make sure that it goes down perfectly. And that is stuck down really nicely. Okay, just like so. Remember, you don't want to touch this. You don't want to handle it too much. Now, you can also use gloves if you want. I've seen a lot of crafters do that to protect the sheet. That is your choice as well. That is perfectly okay for you to do. So like I said, we're only going to do the first one, and then after that I'm going to do the rest off camera. So we're going to speed it up after I show you how to do it. So you're still going to use your regular blade. None of that is going to change. So let me turn this on. So you're not going to change absolutely anything on that. But what you are going to do when you set everything up on your computer screen, you're just going to select infusible ink sheets. That is it. You're still going to mirror. You're going to do everything exactly the same. It's just the material you're going to select is you're going to make sure that you select infusible ink. So let me go ahead and set that up on my screen, and then we'll go ahead and get the machine ready for that. And we'll be right back. All right, so everything is set on my computer screen, and then what I did was I checked the box that said remember material settings so that I don't have to keep clicking it and checking the material setting. So we're just going to feed this through and hit the arrow button and let the machine do what it's going to do. Now that this one is done, and it looks like it cut. I'm just gonna make sure that it cut really well. Now when I'm going, before I unload my mat, I'm just gonna check the cut. You shouldn't really use your weeding tool, but I'm just gonna make sure that this, yep, it's cut good. All right, so let's unload that. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and load the rest of the machines, the rest of the infusible ink sheets, and then I'll bring you guys back. Now we want to be very careful. We're all done printing. we want to be very careful removing our sheets because, especially for me, my machine reminded me that I just recently switched out the blades on in my maker. So when I took off my first one, it had cut through my sheet, and I will show you that in just a moment. So you want to flip this over and very carefully take off your sheet and put your liner back on your mat. So let's go ahead and do that. Put my liner back on, and then I'll put this back in its place here in a little bit, but for now it's gonna go on the side of my desk. All right, so here it is, all cut out. It goes this way. So this is all of ours that we're gonna be working on. Let me show you what I mean by that. See, on this one, I had to go in after I did my first cut and lessen the pressure because look how it cut through so many of my letters. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I got these from Amazon many moons ago in a big old packet. And these are a lot sharper than the blade replacements that you would get from Cricut, but they are super duper sharp. So just keep in mind that if you do have any kind of blade replacements that you get from Amazon, just always lessen the pressure on anything that you're going to do until you get the hang of it. But I was going to recut this one, but I think I'm going to leave it as it is to see if it's going to make a difference, if it's going to be an issue actually. And if it is, then I'll go ahead and recut it. But for now, I'm going to leave it as the way it is, the way it cut out, and then I'm going to see, because ultimately what I'm going to do is just take off the back side and the letters are going to be intact. I'm going to take off the back side. I need to look at the image, the design, and see if the insides are supposed to come out, and I believe it is. It's been a while since I made this design, and I looked at it and didn't even pay attention. So let's go ahead and peel this back. And the liner is sticky, which is good, but since this cut out so nicely today, it's coming out. And these, the good thing with this one is that it's very flexible. It's not hard or anything like that. It's extremely pliable. So let's go ahead and pull this back, and then you'll be able to see the design that I'll be putting on these very comfortable blankets for me and my kids. Now my son has the really big one that I had to go find him. And the liner is coming up on that one, so I have to fix that really quickly because we definitely don't want the liner coming up. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Need that liner to stay where it's at, because then if not, I'm gonna be working on nothing. See how easy that came up? And the liner is extremely sticky, so I'm trying not to let that lay back down. Actually, that did better than I remembered because it's been a while. I had a really bad experience with one of the infusible inks that I was working with a long time ago, and the design, the color that I had picked wasn't what came in, and I was doing a shirt for our family for my daughter's gymnastic meets when we went, that we would wear for her competition days, and the color that I ordered is not what came in. So I was like, okay, well, maybe it's just because, you know, once you lay the heat, it'll change. Man, it was not even close to what the description had. And then after that, I was just so bummed out, and I decided, well, instead of buying off-brand, I'll just stick to Cricut brand. Yeah, then I was like, no, I'm just not gonna let that kind of mistake just deter me from using infusible ink. But it's been a while since I've used infusible ink since then. But then after that, I kind of just started doing my craft room makeover. I don't know, reorg, because it was a mess in here at that time. So I'm just gonna bend this, but I'm trying to be very careful because the liner is wanting to come up too. Okay, there we go. So I'm just gonna try to stick this down, and hopefully you can already tell what this says. So let's flip this over very gently, and it says Troublemaker 2. Okay, Troublemaker 2. So this is in the Dr. Seuss font, and then what I did was I use Cricut's, what is it called? I'm trying to bring my brain to work. I use Cricut's, I can't think of the name. Let me look it up, and I'll tell you exactly what that program is called in Cricut. All right, so I weeded out all of them. So this is the last one. I've been actually quite impressed. It's weeding out very easily. And the liner is actually very pliable. It doesn't crackle like the other brand that we're familiar with. I haven't used the Maker's brand or anything like that, so I don't have any opinion on this one. But this one comes out, look at that, very easily. Anyway, like I was telling you guys beforehand, I used Dr. Seuss font for this one. So I don't think, it's not a Cricut font. It is something I found on Etsy. I typed my information. I typed out this message, or I don't know, this. I typed out what I wanted to type out. And then I use the, I forgot about it again. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, why do I keep forgetting? It's on the tip of my tongue. Okay, we're gonna look at it and then I'll tell you what it is. That's why I'm like, what is it? I should know this. Star Wars, Star Trek. Anyway, so I use the warp feature on it. And I use number 29 if you're interested. And then when you see how it lays out, you'll be able to recognize it, because I use the specific one that looks like the Star Wars when the intro comes out, in a galaxy far, far away. At least that's what my son told me, which I was quite surprised, because he didn't even start watching Star Wars till about 2 years ago, which, you know, was kind of crazy. But that's what he said. He said, use this one because it just looks like Star Wars. And I said, okay, bet. Because I had 29, or it was going to be number 30. And he said 29. So, and like I've said in my previous videos, I do a lot of times ask for my kids' intake, depending on if I'm in the middle of trying to make a decision and I can't seem to battle out what to select. So anyway, let's see. So this one does say Troublemaker 1. And my blanket, I'll show you what it's going to say here in just a second when I get this inside. So mine is going to, of course, say, hope you guys can see that, it's going to say Mother of All Troublemakers. And that is just so funny. So that's what I wanted mine to say. So then all of theirs will say Troublemaker 1, 2, and 3. Because that's normally what I call my kids anyway. My little troublemakers or something of the sort. So that goes down that line. So I thought the Dr. Seuss font was ideal because it really say Trouble 1, 2, and 3. Or something like that. But I just wanted to put a small little spin on that one. So let's see, my blanket is going to be this one. So I'm going to move these out just a bit because I don't want them to get sticky. I'm going to move them out to different spaces, and then we're going to preheat this one. I'm going to move my iPad over so that when I use my heat press, you guys will be able to, I'll be able to record that over there. So the sound and view is going to be a little bit different for you guys. I know you guys will want to see that, so that's why I'm going to do that. And then we'll just get this rolling. So let's go ahead and switch this around for you guys. Okay, so before I do move the scene around, let's go ahead and preset some of this stuff. Get my liner, and I am going to cut the tags because tags for me are quite bothersome. Now, you don't have to do this. This is just me and my preference. Do whatever makes you happy, of course. You know that. I'll be doing this for me. And for my situation, I am probably just going to put mine on the corner. I got this piece where the price tag was at. It's still here. Okay, so for my preference, I'm probably, we washed these have been pre-washed and all that, so you don't of course have to do that. That's just my mom went ahead and pre-washed all of these. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to hold these down with some magnets really quickly, and so that you guys can get a better idea of how this will look. It'll look something like this. Or I can turn it around. Actually, I'll probably make it look like that, because that way, depending on how you're looking at it, it'll just look like that. Actually, I like it like that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I like it like that at an angle, but you can always just turn it, make it straight, you know, and just put it like this, you know. But that for me is a little boring, you know. We got to do something a little different, so I'm going to put it like this. Now these sheets are 12 by 12, so what I did is I made my design 11 by 11 because I wanted to use up as much of the sheet as possible so that we're not wasting any of the sheet. So that was my decision. I like this size. So if you don't want to do as much of the sheet as possible, if you want to do something smaller and use double of the sheet, that is perfectly okay as well. So let me go ahead. Like I said before, we're going to turn everything around. Let me preheat first, bring it back, and then we'll turn everything around for you guys so that you guys can see. So let's get this over to my heat press, and then there'll be a pause, and then we'll eliminate the pause, but let me just preheat this. All right, so I have mine at 385 degrees for 40 seconds. I tend to just do anywhere from 35 to 40 seconds for sublimation. A lot of times it's recommended actually to do 60 seconds, but a lot of times I find that for me 60 seconds will burn my material, so I don't do 60 seconds. But of course, when you're doing your project, feel free to do what you find works best for you and what works for you and whatever project that you're working at. I'm just saying what works for me. You do what makes you happy, what tickles you and makes you smile at any time. That is just what I say works for me. As long as it works for you and makes you so very happy, I am all for it. Okay, so that's been preheated. I just preheated it for about 5 to 10 seconds. We're gonna lay it down right about here. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because I'm just angling it. I'm gonna probably just lay it a little bit higher, just a little bit, just so it's not exactly at the bottom. And there it is, mother of all the troublemakers. Let me just bring it up just a tad bit. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab a piece of, now I use pre-cut parchment paper, and I'm just going to grab 2 of that just to protect my heat press. And let's move you guys over so that you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. This is my 15 by 15. His name is Jack. And I'm just pushing this all the way back so that there's nothing on the back so that when I press it, there's no material interrupting that right there. Making sure that everything is good to go. And then I'm going to lay down the parchment paper so that when it bleeds, it doesn't bleed into my Teflon sheet, or so that it doesn't damage it. So we're just gonna put it down with enough pressure and let the countdown begin. Again, it is at 385 for 40 seconds. All right, she's almost done. There it is, all cooked and ready to go. Remove this. Now we won't be able to reuse it, so I'm just gonna put it down on the floor for a second. And let's turn you over so you guys can see what it looks like. There it is. All right, so let's move over to our island. All right, so now let's go ahead and peel this off. And let's see. Oh, look how it is perfect. It is all black. There's no green. Green would have meant that it was undercooked. It is stunning. Look how pretty she came out. Isn't she pretty? Mother of all troublemaker. Oh, see, there I go making a mess. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and finish all the others, and we'll come back when I'm done with our very last one. Be right back. Literally sweating from all of these blankets, but we are done. This was the biggest one. I think this blanket is a king size queen, but it was the only one that I could find that I thought that would work with my son. He's almost 20. He's finishing up his second year in college, so he'll probably be using this right on his bed, I imagine. So I went ahead and just got him this one, and I am like so happy how these came out. I'm just super stoked. Like these are amazing. The only thing I never liked about these is how they leave the mark, but eventually in time you won't even notice anymore, because I've done another one where the mark is still there. Now the other way you could have made this, I'll show you here in a second, is you could have I could have left the square and just did sliced it, and then that way I would have been removing the letter, so it would have looked like a stencil, and then everything would have been black and it would have been the letters on the inside. But I really just wanted the focal point to be the words themselves instead of any colors on the inside, any color anywhere else. But these are amazing. Let me grab the other one so you can see how they look side by side. Okay, so this is how the kids ones look. My troublemakers, 1, 2, and 3. And I think they look absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh, you can't rub them off. They look like they were always bought like this, and amazing. Now let me bring mine in, and it'll go over theirs. And this is what mine looks like. Mother of all these awesome troublemakers of mine. This is absolutely an amazing gift for Mother's Day for me. So the fact that I'm making it is null and void, but it's okay, you know. But this would be an amazing gift for families, for Mother's Day. Even if you wanted to make this for Father's Day in the future, would be absolutely amazing. I'd have to find one and do one and just put father of all troublemakers. That would be awesome, actually. Just recreate this and just put father, and then we'd all have matching blankets. So this is absolutely amazing. I am so in love with this. But thank you guys for joining me for this video. I hope I was able to help you get inspired to make something for your own family for Mother's Day or something of the sort. But again, thank you for joining me for this video. I will see you next time in my next upcoming video. Thank you so much. Bye.